going to make another fermented plant juice. I just realized that I think I have enough banana flowers to do a banana flower plant juice, which is one I've seen several times on some of the other Korean natural farming demonstrations. So basically the idea, like, here's a banana flower right here. I'm just going to snip it off like so. And I've got a bunch of different types of banana. That's a tiny one. I've got some bigger ones. This is one of the Orinoco type here. Snip that guy off. Like those. Oh, there's another one over here. That one I'm not going to snip off because it's still putting out fruit. So I can do that another time. But I've already collected some other ones from around the front yard. As you can see, I like growing bananas. There's a bunch of different bananas. I think that one's the Orinoco. This is an apple. There's a Mona Lisa, Namwa, another apple, another Namwa. That one I think is a Namwa. This is called Crew. Yeah, there's lots of types of bananas out there. If you haven't had one that wasn't a grocery store banana, there's a whole world out there. So here's some of the other flowers that I have. These are the apples. I think this one's from the Namwa. But it's very similar to making the sweet potato fermented plant juice. Basically, I just cut this up into little chunks, and you can see how juicy these are. There's water coming out of them already. But you cut them up and you add the sugar, and it pulls even more of that water out, and you make another fermented plant juice. So that's what I'm going to work on right now. So here we go. Banana flower plant juice. Just going to cut these up into little chunks. I love these little flowers. Look at it, it looks like a flower in there, like a spiral. It's pretty cool. It's like a little galaxy inside. This is kind of a sticky mess. I probably should have used a cutting board for this, but this is how you learn, right? You gotta make mistakes to learn. Or you can learn from people that have already made the mistakes, but in this case, I'm going to try it for myself. I don't think it's going to be that bad. This is an old table I got off the side of the road anyway, so if it gets danged up, it's not too bad. This is where I usually cut up my jackfruit. So, it gives you an idea. I usually put cardboard down there. These flowers, by the way, you can eat these. You can make curries out of them. You can use them in soups. Vietnamese use them all the time. Sometimes I'll take the flowers from my yard and I'll bring them to the local Thai restaurant. And I'll bring that and green papayas and lemongrass. And some of the women in the kitchen are actually Vietnamese, and they get real excited about these banana flowers. And I'll trade you know, my homegrown produce, and they'll give me some free food. It's kind of cool. I like Thai food. Actually, a lot of the stuff that I grow at home is modeled around Thai cooking, because I fell in love with it. My wife and I went there a few years ago, and we took a cooking class in Thailand on one of the farms there, which was an awesome experience. Absolutely loved it. And we learned some of the actual, you know, the legitimate ingredients. You know, we learned about galangal and the kaffir lime leaf and the Thai ginseng and the chilies and the green papaya. Really cool. If you ever get a chance to take a Thai cooking class, even if it's not in Thailand, it'll start opening your world to Southeast Asian and Asian cuisine. there's so much out there. And the cool thing about it, for people that live in Florida, we can grow pretty much everything that they use in their cuisine, especially in the summertime. And a lot of people have issues growing food here in the summertime because they're used to growing annual crops from up north. But we can do a lot of things here. You just have to get out of your comfort zone and learn some new cuisine, and you wouldn't believe how much food you can produce. Maybe I'll do a tour of my garden at some point. I'll show you some of the stuff I have. Here's my biggest one. These are all quasi chopped up. I'm not a perfectionist about this stuff, but putting these all in a bucket. And when I did the sweet potato, I was doing like a handful of sweet potato leaves chopped up, and then like a little bit of sugar, and then mixing it, and another handful of sweet potato leaves. Since I'm doing the video and I'm kind of distracted, I already did all the chopping. That's all in the bucket. Let me get my sugar real quick. Of course, I spilled some on the ground. Awesome. Here's my brown sugar. I'm just going to pour a fair amount in there. They say you can't do too much, but you can do too little. So you want to make sure everything gets coated with the brown sugar. It smells awesome. The brown sugar smells amazing. And yeah, these were very juicy. I mean, especially when you cut them off in the morning. There's so much sap and juice coming out of these things. I can only imagine how much is going to come out of this once it's got the sugar down. I'm basically just turning it over. The sugar's falling to the bottom now, so I'm just turning it over what's on the bottom to the top. And once that's done, I'm going to put something on top of it to try to smash it down and let it sit for a few days. Alright, it's the next day, and I went ahead and put a jar full of water to kind of smush this down and hold it down, but you can see these banana flowers were quite juicy. They're pushing out lots of beautiful fermented plant juice. I'm going to push this back down. I'm just kind of pressing it just a little bit to see if I can pack it down to the bottom so everything stays under the water. I'm going to press this down. I'm going to cover it back up, and we'll check on it again later. Okay, it's now been 3 days since we started with this banana flower FPJ, and it's looking pretty goopy in here. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be goopy like that, but you can see it's pretty gummy. I'm going to try to put it through the strainer into the bowl and then put it in here like I did with the, if you saw my other video with the sweet potato plant juice. But since it's thick, I'm not sure how it's going to work out, but we'll see how it goes. so I just finished squeezing out all the fermented plant juice from the banana flower FPJ. Here's what we have left. Here's all the pressings that I have left. I'm going to put this around my banana plants and hopefully give them a little boost. Obviously I've got some dishes to do. And then here's what we got. It's pretty funky looking. It actually doesn't smell that bad. It smells slightly alcoholic, but really not too bad. Pretty viscous. Any of you guys that have more experience, please let me know. This is my first time. Is it supposed to be snotty like that, or is it supposed to be a little thinner or thicker? I'm going to use it one way or the other, but if you have any suggestions or comments, please put them down below and let me know. I'm learning as I go, and the whole point of this is to kind of break down some of the fears of just trying stuff. I want people to get out there and try and learn, and just like me, I learn as I go, and I'm here to share with you guys. Since this jar is so full, it's all full all the way to the top, I'm actually going to put it in a little bit taller jar so I can put a lid on it that's not going to touch the material. I'm going to put a lid, just like I've done here with my IMO2. I've got a little paper towel lid with a metal ring. I'm going to do the same thing. My understanding is if I put this like a regular plastic lid on, you'll cut off the oxygen supply and this will start to turn to alcohol, and that's not necessarily what I want. I want to have as close to what is prescribed as possible in terms of fermented plant juice. So I'm going to give it some air to breathe, and that's how I'm going to store it. So I wanted to make sure I put that in there too. Alright, so I just wanted to do a quick update. This is the day after putting the banana flower FPJ into its bottle. Last night, kind of late, I went out in the garage and I noticed that, see all the bubbles in there? It was starting to bubble, and it was actually looked like the bottle was full and it was coming out the top, and you can see how the paper towel is soaked now. It was starting to drip out the sides, like it was like growing like some kind of creature from the Black Lagoon. And so today it looks like it's kind of settled down. There's still some bubbles in there, but it's turned into this syrupy looking stuff, much more like a juice than what it was. So I think that's a good thing. I am going to replace the paper towel, so I make sure that it gets some air, because I don't want it to ferment. But I thought that was interesting. I'm just going to add this to the end of the video, just so you have it as a reference. Hopefully that's not weird, but hopefully it's normal. If anyone that knows more about this stuff, please tell me if that looks better or worse, the way that went. Next time I bottle up a batch of this stuff, I'm going to put it in a bigger bottle so it doesn't outgrow the bottle like it did last night. So interesting stuff.